Okay. As is now tradition. How long do you have to do stuff for to become a tradition? We're going to start with the
21 days.
Moan In, and I'm going to kick us off with the Moan In this week. Oh, I'm not. I'm going to, yeah. Anyway, Moan In. I'm going to start with Kate. Kate, what's your first thing that's been bugging you this week?
Capitalization for no reason. So what I'm talking about, it hasn't just been bugging me this week. It's been bugging me for years. So what I'm talking about is when people capitalize words for no reason in the middle of sentences. So for example, vintage is done a lot. So somebody would say, so you might write, I am wearing a vintage, capital V, dress, little d. And it's like, no, it doesn't need a capital V. And in the wedding world, because I have a wedding blog, when I get submissions, people put bride, capital B. And now I sound like the grammar police. I don't mind people getting grammar wrong because we all can get grammar wrong. It's this like obsessive capitalizing of things. It really pisses me off. And you know what has also pissed me off with it is that my phone autocorrects to be a capital V and a capital B for brides and stuff. So I don't know why, but my phone is making me do it too. And then it's just driving me crazy.
Right. See, I don't think I can allow that one on the basis that I do it. So I think I'm gonna have to, and I know I do it, and I'm gonna have to cancel you for that.
No, you need to stop doing it.
I know why I do it, okay? I've got this weird thing in my head that when I was at school, I was basically taught that you capitalized names of things, right?
Well,
So you capitalized names, and that means that ever since then, somehow things like bride have become the name of a bride, right? Or doctor. I'm going to see the doctor.
Doctor does have it. Well, yes, it does.
Does it? Should it? No, I don't know. See, so I know that I do that. I capitalize what I think of as the names of things, especially when it relates to people. I don't think I do vintage because I worked in like vintage land for so long. But yeah, so I am definitely guilty of that because it drives my husband crazy too. So, but I'm still not letting any of you have it because I can't help it. It's just stuff.
I think that's wrong that you're not letting that in. You are wrong because it's grammatically wrong and you're not letting it in. So you are wrong.
Well, I'm the boss in this situation, so.
I've gone off you.
Normally grammar police is a given for me, but this one, because I know I do it, I don't want it to be allowed.
When I get a blog submission, I have to go over it all because it'll be like wedding florist. I am the wedding florist, capital W, capital F. It's like, no, you're a wedding florist, little W, little F.
That's their name.
No, their name is Kate. Like, Anyway,
okay.
I'm not happy about this. You better let my next one in. What is your first moan in of the week?
My first moan in of the week is pads in sports bras and swimwear. They quite often have them in as well. They're the ones that come like in little pockets and they're not sewn in. So the first time you put them through the wash, they fold up and sneak down into the corners so that you put them on and you look like you've got lumpy boobs. And I don't understand what they're for. Are they so because somehow I need a cleavage when I'm at the gym? Or are they to hide my nipples from prying eyes? I don't know. I don't understand what they're for. They annoy me. And it's really wasteful because I take them out of everything and I have hundreds of the things. They're breeding.
So I have a question before, without getting too personal. Do you feel that you need more padding? And I don't know how booby you are because I think they are put in to give people some shape, although I don't like them either. I'm going to say,
well, I am quite booby these days. I'm 32G, but this is a sports bra.
Yeah, but then I feel you with even just bras. So I am a 32E, so I generally buy a bigger cup and like just a bra. I don't own sports bras. I mean, why would I want one of those? But I do have bikinis, and I actually like the fact that you can remove them because I don't want extra padding. And I do.
But then what do you do with them? Why are they in there?
Well, then they're wasteful, aren't they? Because
then they're wasteful. What am I going to do with them? Make little cat ears?
But I don't want them in there to begin with. So with a bra, when you're a full of bust bra, they always seem to be in them, and it's like, but I don't need more boob. I've got enough
and
boob.
They're too small because they're a standard size, and so by the time you get into a fuller cup bra, they're too small. So are you allowing this then?
Yeah, no, I don't like padding in things. I understand padding if it was a smaller size. I have a teenage daughter that likes a little bit of padding. I get that, but when you're bigger cup, I'm like, I don't like, please, I don't need to look any bigger or be pushed anymore. There's enough going on there. Yes, no, I'm allowing it because they
Sports
drive me
bra
mad
pads.
too. And I not in sports bras because I don't own one.
Okay, what's your second one this week?
The phrase, "You haven't rung me." I hear this a lot from people, which is obviously a clear that I don't ring people very often. You didn't get in touch with me. You didn't ring me. You didn't text me. You haven't texted me. And I do get this quite a bit because I'm pretty rubbish at communication. However, I am really busy, and I think I can say this for so many women, particularly juggling a trillion freaking things, especially when you layer in children, GCSEs, house, work, career, and people are like, "Well, you didn't ring me," and I always think, well, you could have rung me. My husband does it too. Well, you didn't, or he says it about other people. Oh, they haven't rung me. And I'm like, well, you do have hands. You can pick up the telephone. You can do it yourself. So I think this is a very personal one, but it's this feeling of when you're so freaking busy and then somebody or multiple people, and it can be email as well. You haven't got back to me. I know, like literally, leave me alone. And I feel like it's linked to the amount we all have to do, particularly as women. And I feel sometimes all the onus is always on me. This is getting very personal, but I'm getting really fed up with people saying, you haven't contacted me when nobody's contacted me. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yes, I think so. I will allow it, not on the basis of just being a bit rubbish at replying to WhatsApps and emails and stuff
Yeah.
like that. It's like, but more on the basis of people almost using you as an excuse for reasons they haven't done stuff because they were like, oh, well, I couldn't do it until I had your input. And you go, no, you could definitely have found that yourself, right? Or like, is that the
Yeah,
kind of thing?
I think
So
it is,
like,
but I think
why does it fall on you to be responsible for the, oh, well, I didn't know whether we would, I haven't booked the tickets because I sent you an email asking if I should book the tickets and you didn't say yes. And you
well,
go,
this
well,
is that's exactly, and it's like, so I didn't reply, so therefore you did nothing, and it's not
yeah,
I expect you to do nothing, but you could have picked up the phone or you could have done something to nudge
okay.
me when I'm really, really busy. I think it's linked to the expectation that we're online 24/7. And I think if you
Yeah.
are online 24/7, I am, people's expectation is that I can therefore respond and do all the stuff as well. And I'm
Like immediately, and you're like, you might need to focus. See, this I'm allowing that on the basis that it does tie in quite nicely to my my final one today, which is, shall I go?
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
it's actually not this. Apart from this little bit of hair, which
I
really
thought
is
it was going to
annoying
be,
today. And if you're not watching this on the visuals, I'll try and put it on Instagram because it's an incredibly annoying little bit of hair on the side of my fringe, which has just decided to stick out sideways. So it's getting on my nerves. Not that bit of hair. Actually, I decided in the end it was going to be my own memory.
uh,
Because whether it's chemo brain, menopause brain, just
busy
whatever,
brain.
my whole life, I was the person that held stuff in my brain in order. And I never forgot things. And now I forget everything, including what was actually going to be my second thing this week, which I thought I would remember. And then I obviously didn't. So my own memory is the thing. And I think it does tie into yours as well, because I do forget things. I'm like, I've said I'm going to do this. I've got an email. I need to reply to that email. And my brain just decides I've replied to it. And that is closed now and forgets all about it until I suddenly find it. And I'm like, what the hell is this? Yeah, so my own memory.
And I think because you've had a good memory, which it is a bit like me, I've been like on top of things, and then when I'm not, the expectation for everybody else is, well, why did you forget it? Or you're wrong almost, and they
Yeah.
have a go at you, and it's like, no, like please just leave me alone. No, I'm letting your memory in.
Yeah.
Mine is getting better, I have to say, which is a good thing. I seem to be getting systems in place to
Well, see, that's what
improve.
I have to work to systems, which is now where I was like, I go to my husband. We have a shared Google Calendar now. So if I'm doing anything, it's on the calendar. But he still does. I think we've discussed this before. He still will sometimes do, what are we doing next week?
That's going to be my moan in for next week. Anybody that says, what are we doing on? My son texts me and asks me all the time, but he'll be like, what are we doing on the 27th of August? I'm like, I don't freaking know. But there's a calendar on the fridge and there's a diary
Yeah.
on my desk. So start there. But it's not even, what are we doing this weekend? What are we doing? It's because he's booking something. I get it.
Yeah.
But it's like, do you actually expect
What
me
am I,
to
your
know?
secretary? Yeah. That's kind of off the topic of my own memory a bit. My own memory does irritate me. I forget things. I have to have lists now. I have my systems. So that it's annoying on a my basis as well. But yeah, that's the other people that are used to you having a good memory and are then like, I'll ask Jem, she knows everything. Not anymore.
Well, I'm letting that in because I get it.